Hey guys, this is Allison from Alley Cat Creations. How are you? If you haven't done so already, please like, share, and subscribe to my channel. It helps me out. Get the word out to everybody. Also, if you get a mic drop, a connect the dot, an epiphany, a light bulb bursting, a new author to read, or a new book to explore, please consider supporting my work. All the links will be in the description box below the video. And I want to thank everybody who has helped me keep the lights on and fed and the cat's happy. And before I start today, I got stew and a nice knitted blankie from a really good friend from high school. She stopped over to give me some gifts of food and cat food and something to keep me warm because it's really cold in New York. I'm cold. So I'm very, very thankful for people like her and for the people who helped me out. It's really appreciated. I'm saying things. No, no. So I'm going to read the Rainbow Masters, the Phoenix Journals, the Magnificent Seven. We're gonna start with chapter 20, Serapis Bey. But before I do, a lot of people are like, what's with the makeup? It's darker than normal. There's some parasites attacking people that I know. More than one person, light workers, have confirmed these things. And there's infiltration in some things as well. And we know who you are. My angels don't play with your demons. My angels cast demons into the light. But I trick people because they look at me and they're like, oh no, you're not of the light. God's way of protecting. It's true. Getting into the section we need to read. Chapter 20, recording 1. Serapis Bey. Saturday, April 22nd, 1989, 6:15 a.m. Year 2, day 249. A seedling is planted and the plant nurtured. Then comes the time of growing into harvest. Many things must be proper to allow the plant to grow to full flower. Chila. Some plants can grow in snow, some in the heat of a desert, all things in their proper place, or growth through selection. Our energies will mesh when we allow of the coalescence. Love, misdefined. They're playing with me because I was going to read Manly P. Hole first. They're up to something up there. Seriously. I am Serapis Bey of the Crystal Ray. The fourth you call it for identification. Actually, the crystal ray is my choice. The refracted color of the fourth ray is not white. There is a difference, Chiba. I am simply the headmaster of the fourth ray at this portion of sequence. I long for a better language for thee of the English-speaking sectors, for love has become such a tritely used term, yet it is the experience of love, agape, not romance of lovers, but abiding, non-defaulting love, which underlies all progress to higher frequency existence. You are having trouble, Dharma, because it troubles you that we preach love. love and more love, total love, ad nauseum. It is because there is no other word to use and no other way to get where you are going. The term conjures immediately to the mind's eye the drifters in false pious demeanor, drifting about, pronouncing great acceptance of all things, positive or negative. Yeah, the non-productive acceptors of any and all kinds of sexual encounters to prove their unbiased love. Empty, blinded drifters partaking of any and all mind-altering plants or drugs. Ah, yes. 'Tis sad, for they are ended with no proper term to use for. Sorry, guys, she does this every time she jumps up. For the truth of it, worse in the acceptance of those teachers of many children who followed or were later followers, made gross errors of not easily corrected. Many extreme measures were taken in immature minds and actions, which were done convenience and avoidance of possibility, responsibility of real love. Ah, such sadness flows in my consciousness as I see the foolish blunders made under the temptation of brothers of darkness, pretending to be light brethren. It's happening now. Happening now. Oh, Miss Kitty Cat, I can't work. As always, the worst attack is on the youth, who are still too young to discern from life in full, thus are acting from impulse and rebellion. So be it, for the special blessings are poured forth upon these ones who do come into the path of their feelings of guilt. Be moderated, for they know not what they are doing. There is no magic age for knowledge. Sometimes it never comes in the entire lifetime of the physical experience. Sometimes it comes past midlife, so be it. It comes when it comes, no more, no less. Life of physical experience is just that, experience. Ye are here to experience. Ye each come for a different reason. How blessed ye are when ye find thy brother who has some and come primarily for the same purpose thee chose. Do not waste time in remorse for what thee did not know or do in thy past. The past is gone. Ye can come, sorry guys, I can't see. Ye cannot change one thing of yesterday. It is as far gone as any existence or any sphere in billion years ago in thy time sequence. If thee made errors that can be corrected, do so. But it is gone and not can be removed or added to yesterday or last spill momentum. Ye can dream of tomorrow, but ye actually only have this heartbeat of a moment for life and death, action and inaction, wholeness or crippleness, light or darkness, or only one heartbeat in separation. One little electric impulse of energy surge is all the separation there is in the universe. Even the mind is set up so that the interruption of energy flow through particular circuit interchanges can place a human into an entirely different illusion of experience. Thy mental houses of distress are filled with those precious ones. I am not come forth to this group through you, Dharma, for the same thrust as for the beginners of truth seeking. Ye do not need of the lesson of the novice. Ye ones are about a job, well planned and functioning. Let us consider some of the things ye do not need to do in order to move forward. Are you willing? Ye must face the question, how great is thy love? How badly do thee wish to partake in transportation of a birthing of a planet into a higher dimension, the fulfilling of a cycle. Ye have to confront, to what extent are you willing to give up the course of self-centered illusion to accomplish insight necessary to participate with thy unseen brotherhood? Many of us are doing that now. There is a key in the disciplines to higher consciousness. The key is not to become entangled in the labyrinth of human questioning and the fears and doubts and specter of night that haunt that labyrinth. You do not have to trace the meanderings of the carnal mind and human consciousness through all of the levels of the subconscious in order to come to knowledge of truth, in order to come to reality, or to overcome in love. The key is not to be drawn by curiosity or fascination with the horror or a gluttony for the thing of senses, drawings you down into more and more astral experiences and psychic phenomena. The key instead is of taking 1,000 steps through the astral plane, is to take one step into the plane and encircling beingness of the mighty I am presence, into the plane of the Christ mind, where the oneness and the wholeness of the Great Pyramid, the triune of totality and power, the oneness and the wholeness, is dissolving action. I'm going to put a pause right there. I've been listening to a very interesting channel. Spirit brought her to me. She channels Dolores Cannon. Her name is Paola Aaron. She's incredible. And the last couple of channelings I listened to is that we're not actualizing our I am self anymore. We're actually moving into an and consciousness, which this wouldn't have been. I mean, obviously, this was channeled again in the 80s, 90s. So they probably didn't know that we were going to expand further in moving forward. The I am presence and the I am consciousness, the Christ consciousness, is absolutely still there. It's not going anywhere, but it's more of a third dimensional construct. Where we're moving to is still in essence in Christ consciousness, but it's an and consciousness from what she's channeling off the, and I resonate with it. That we're coming with new consciousness. We're going to form our new paradigm. You're not going to need a certification of the things that you know inside of you. You don't need to be a shaman and get a certification, someone to tell you that that's what you are. You should know what you are. You don't need a certification. Yeah, you should do certain things and understanding how to teach it if that's what you want. But you don't need a certification to be something if that's what's flowing and being channeled out through you, right? We're creating it now. We're making it. It's new. And we can't bring the old into the new. And the and involves everyone. But you still have to go through the I am understanding to understand that you are a part of everything. So, something to seed in there. I completely agree with her channeling and with her channeling Dolores Cannon. It's incredible. Anywho. Get off the downward spiral. Brethren, transcend your cycles. Do not follow those negative spirals round and round and round again. Go down, down, down until the death manifestation in the very crypt of the electronic belt. Spiral instead, upward and outward, utilizing the flame of transmutation, consuming on contact the debris ye encounter. The flame is not linear. It need not travel over the lines of human creation. Your soul, enveloped in the flame, also need not remain any longer in the consciousness that the only way out is through the lower frequency labyrinth. I say transcend it. This means that in the moment when you would indulge your pettiness, your argumentation, your human nonsense, your dalliness and childness, in the moment you instantly let go and you let God be the light that swallows you up in the victory of love, the love that is your victory is your own love that is God made manifest within yourself. Our God is big, the all-consuming fire of love, and that God self resides as close as thy heart's cell, within thy heart and breast, within thy mind, thy soul. Why do thee ones shut him from thee? Ye carry within the unlimited power of the universe, and ye hide away from him. Gain passion in the loving of that wondrous source. Love enough so that you do not have need to satisfy some human desire of destiny. You are not forced to appease the cardinal mind and give in to that which is destructive. You are not forced to appease the cardinal mind and reasoning and potentiality, unlimited mind. Given the freedom of will and choice, use it. You do not have to engage your energies in imperfection as much as you think that is sometimes necessary, and tell you that by always going within the heart and upon the threefold flame of life, within to thy God force of self, you can transcend all former cycles, so be it. When ye can sustain the attention upon your I am presence and upon the light, you will receive the energy necessary to deal with all other circumstances. You will grow beyond having a travel through them in your emotions, in your mental concepts, in your memory, and your physical labor. Then think upon this, the disciplines for higher consciousness demand that you prove how it is that you can be in a world and yet not of the world. As a child, how do you accomplish this seemingly impossible feat? The first step is to become as a little child. You must become open as in innocence of the questioning, the accepting, the total openness of a child, coming into truth of experience. You must go beyond and above what thy mind has filled with its untruth to be replaced with truth. You cannot instantly become a Christed man or woman without having first come into understanding of the law. The first step, therefore, are in the accepting of the teaching that ye might learn that law. Regress in your soul awareness for a moment. Go in thy mind back to the point of embryonic life of your consciousness of innocence, entering into that form for the tiny babe. Total trust and faith and hope and charity are yours. You have not hardened your heart. You have not hardened yourself to become a cynic in the world. Your skin is tender. It is not toughened by failures of others. And so, in the sweet perfume of your love of mother and the mother's love for you, you remember wholeness in God. And this is all of your identity. At the point you are the babe in Christ, you are calm and serene with absolute conviction that your life is in God and God is caring for you. The most essential quality of becoming this tiny babe is to understand the quality of helplessness. When you are totally helpless, then you must allow God to work his work within you. You can truly say, as the child of Christ, I of my own self can do nothing. It is the Father in me which doeth the work. You have a clear transparency, purity from the immaculate vision of the cosmic virgin. This is the meaning of the immaculate conceived, who know no sin. You know no separation from God. You are in the womb of the mother. You are surrounded by the waters of living word. You are at peace, and life is yours to conquer before you are God manifestation. Now you are ready for the disciplines whereby the babe will become the child. Next comes the outer manifestation. From within the womb into the outer room, your habitation is a cosmos, a brave new world, a world filled with light, yet with shadows and darkness, somehow as yet undefined to your precious soul. You come forth and you travel the cycles of your individual cosmic clock, and you bow before the great initiators of life. The little child of innocence that is forced to learn the ways of his new world, separated from the attachment of the disciplines of the God all, where the knowledge was in the cycles of the Father. You now experience falls and scrapes, tears, and demands that cannot be fulfilled. Therefore, you learn to fulfill your own demands. The shaping of the feeling and the mental body, the shaping of the mind, the memory, and the noble form, the form that is to house the spiritual fire of life. Ah, yes, this little child born to be God, but alas, also comes the pitfalls. We've all experienced those. As the veils of the innocent are parted one by one, and you mature into understanding of the world, as well as the understanding of the law, take care. Take care that you do not forget your source and the fairness and the undines and the fairies and the gnomes, with whom you frolicked at and as a little one. Take care that you do not forget the faces of angels who have tended your crib, who have watched over thee. Take care that you do not forget that there are masterful beings who took you by the hand and walk you safely through the places of danger. But most of ye do forget. There are few who will remind you that and there are few who will know, for they have all been deprogrammed away from God into the ways of the world. Thus, if you retrain your innocence of the little child, you will become the little child who leads all of the aspects of creation into the knowledge of the Christ. It is the little child within you that will be the leader of this age of coming into knowledge. It is the child who remains the source, but coming into the oneness of balance, of discrimination, of learning, of mastering, and the studies necessary to function in the world and to be of service, and to have the secret labor of ye accepted. You must not only become the little child, so to speak, to have disciplines of higher consciousness, but you must also remain the little child. It is better to be heard again and again, and here all of you chelas take careful attention, than to have the cynicism of the existentialists. It is better to have advantages taken of thee than to fall into constant mistrust of your fellow man. As thee grow, you will become discerning and will not fall prey to these ones who will pull thee down. Do not set about armoring thyself with false armor, for the armor thee will choose outside of the godness will be of darkness. If you still yourself with the false set of armor, that is the tube of the light, the innocence of the white light, but that is the mastering of deceit and intrigue, the mastering of a carnal ego, the mastering of all its defenses, its indulgences, and all its experiences, which the fallen ones tell you you must have in order to distinguish light and darkness. Interesting. On to you, Serapis Bey. Experience not required to learn. This, dear ones, is the first and fundamental lie that is told to the child to take the child from the path of light. Come and experience this. Come and experience that. Taste and see. Taste and know for yourself whether or not this is for you. Ah, yes, this is experience, so be it, but it is not of necessity. The little child in all innocence does not need to taste of the energy veil, temptations of illusionary evil, need not partake or of it, or absorb it, or become contaminated by it in order to know the truth. There have been many, many, many ones, Christed ones, who have entered into the Holy of Holies and who have found the satisfaction of loving God and in his holy angels without the experience of participation in the banal. Those who have accepted the lie and entered into the compromises of all the things that are offered in the marts of the world are burdened today by a cross of their own making, a cross of their own actions, a cross that is the hatred of the Divine Mother, in whose womb they live and move and have that being of light. Therefore, the child nurturing to become the master in the way, to carry the cross of the world lessons, cannot take upon himself that cross of world karma, because he is too busy carrying his own cross of selfishness and self-indulgence. Therefore, Chelas, there are few who have the time to participate in truth, who will take the effort to bear responsibility, or will only, if I have time, give me a call and I'll try. When it is convenient and I have no other thing to do, no appointment with worldly stuff, I'll try. Do thee recognize? And it backfires upon thee. In every age, there must be souls who are willing to bear a certain portion of the weight of world karma, for lack of a better word. In these times, it is by and large elemental life who bear the weight. For those among mankind who care at all to carry a little extra baggage are few and far between. Right choices. Those who love are the disciplined ones who can walk through the narrow streets of the cities of the Middle East, for instance, where every form of temptation lurks and every aspect of sins of human consciousness is displayed in the marketplace. Ah, so to walk through or to tarry, explore and partake. It is one thing to enjoy a shopping trip. It is another to become addicted to going shopping and to examining the manifestations of human consciousness when you ought to be meditating upon the light that burns within the shops of your very own inner being. Precious ones, discipline means to withdraw energy and with it your attention from its encasement to the tomb of matter. It means to stop the flow into the dense and direct into the higher. The pearl is a symbol of your casual body, and the layer upon layer of the pearl are the spheres of consciousness that you have built, layer upon layer, around the central core of the I am presence of self. This iridescent mother of pearl is worth all. Therefore, a wise man will go and sell all that he has for the one pearl of cosmic consciousness. Its discipline demands that you let it go. Let go of all involvements and realize that from day to day, you never know when your soul, bereft of the physical body, will find itself cast on another shore in the mental plane, in the astral plane, God forbid, or in the etheric octave. If you were the messenger, you would be in the position to observe day by day those who are born and those who are dying, those who come into the physical plane and those who leave. It is a vast parade of souls taking incarnation and moving on. But the disciplines for the higher consciousness, if it is to be retained, must be proven in the physical plane. Therefore, it is the abomination of the hierarchy to make time and space count, for they are the crucible whereby you prove your God mastery and the alchemy thereof. Little progress is made in other planes, for here in matter you made of your experience, learned or not, learned thy lessons, and here in the matter is where you must bring it all into balance. Let none think that they will live forever and forever in their lower bodies. They are but vehicles of consciousness which are loaned to you, as all of the energy of God is on loan to you, that you might prove the master of free will. I come to you then to give you the concept of discipline. I tell you as I survey the world scene, in all of the dreadfulness of that which is taking place, so much is unknown to you that it is pathetic how your leaders have deprived you of knowledge of what is actually happening in secret diplomacy, in international politics, and even thy own legislatures. As I survey all of this, I see as the one hope that path of initiation that leads through the teachings of what is called the Great Brother, the Great White Brotherhood, the Lighted Brotherhood, not black, brown, or white, but rather lighted versus darkened. There must be ones to walk with mankind until they awaken from their sleep and begin to see, really see. There must be ones who lead in balance and harmony and love. Men must follow because the way of truth, not from fear or power, which will render him useless. Ye once have accepted the mantle, have asked for participation, and have been appointed. Thy way shall be open unto you, that you can find the path without falling along the wayside. But Chelas, you must hold strong, for the worldly ones will effort ceaselessly to pull thee down. However, know that when the circle is closed, the cycle is finished, and those without will remain without. Those within cannot be separated. So be it. For it shall come to pass as written in the great books of the universe. I take my leave in appreciation for being allowed a hearing, and always know that I stand attentive to thy calls. I am that I am, teacher of the fourth ray, that nothing shall be lacking in thy lessons. I am Serapis Bey and Light. What? That's on it. On it, on it, on it, on it, on it, on it, on it. And my eyes acting all lazy. I see it. So I Chapter 21, Recording 1, Hilarion. Monday, April 24th, 1989, 7 a.m., Year 2, Day 251. Hilarion, to speak to you, Dharma. Thank you for allowing my humble presence to join with you. We sat with you as ye were witness to the moving pictures of a last evening. For reference, Murderers Among Us, Simon Westenthal's life streaming during this passage. I'm going to speak on the manners of persecution upon the bodies, hearts, and souls of man by man. I am the best spokesperson for this subject. From my own physical life stream on Earth Place was as Paul, Saul of Tarsus. I persecuted to such extent that none, not even thy could balance my negative energy. It was only different in the group whom I persecuted. Quite frankly, I knew no better truth. Ones living in the presence and fulfillment of the evil intent actually believe it to be the better way. Chila's. I have paid dearly for this wrong choices of my precious free will actions. I continue to earn my way back in total perfection. Evil. I also have witnessed that even through the acts of evil, which were perpetuated at my hand and commanded, the balance of good has always been allowed to blossom indeed. Therefore, Chilas, do not cast aside any lesson, for all scenarios are intended for thy experience and learning achievements. Simon W. is correct. It is when the actions are perpetuated and then men allowed to forget or deny that the true lessons are lost to be repeated again and again and again. Ye ones become bored with the repetitions that the Jewish peoples repeat yearly at all important days. Most do not even know why they do it, and the point is missed. There were almost as many non-Jewish persons annihilated in the days of Hitler. It's truth. Big truth that will hopefully come out because there's documents. Lots of documents. And as there were Jews, give or take a few million, Orthodox Russians, I will not go into the reason now that those things happened, but it had to occur for the rest of the mandates to be allowed to bloom. It had to be for the revelation of the prophecies. One man's evil, oh no, brethren, not one man's evil. Evil so widespread that you would not even comprehend the level of hatred against brother, which was really present. Shit. If many were not evil, Hitler could have done naught. He would have been killed or at least cast away from leadership. It was the Dark Brotherhood at work in fine form. So be it, for it was done. But the lessons brought forth must not be lost unto any of you, for you have only just begun the next segment of horrors as the evil ones come into final confrontation. This has been going on cycle after cycle after cycle after cycle after cycle. Hitler was a puppet. I said it. There were things that were done in his puppeted name that he didn't do. Oh no. The puppet on the string. Frontman, the fall guy, the Manchurian candidate. There's going to be a lot of people really pissed to know who's really behind all of it. And what's going on now is only repeating again because people are so blinded by fear. Fear. Oh, you go to the, oh, no, you're going to kill me. Did God not create you, and did not God give you an immune system? And yes, some people have a lack of thereof, but you know, they've infiltrated every goddamn aspect of our lives. And Americans are the worst because we're the social experiment. Oh yeah, they try to make you feel like you had freedom and you don't. Like I said in so many videos, our propaganda is worse than North Korea's. And that dictatorship, guess what? That was also the same puppet master who was puppet mastering just about everybody. Oh, why do they hate him so much? Oh, because he didn't play nicely with them. Version 7.0 of Batman. Hilarion is on it. And we're the next segment, by the way. When we have been tempered in the fire for thy purpose, however, the entry of the master teacher is at the whirlwind. It comes in mightily force, confounding of the very consciousness of the human entity. If thee are appointed, it will come when all, wherever the God within confronts the master alchemist. It can be greatly grown from the point, or it can completely consume a bee. Mostly ones of and our basic goodness, and the movement of conversion is not really known to thee until the awakening. You will not probably know at what point in the existence of your soul you will finally offered all. That's now. It's at least happening to me. There's not even a way to know if you came from a purpose as I have. Back again and again and again to assist ye of the mortal density. Let it be. Just know that you are, and let us do our work. Actually, it is a culmination of the call and many calls. You know of your growth when you recognize that you are broken in the human and accept the divine, thy own choice. Ye will err again and again. Thee will never slip again into the pits of evil. Hear the call. Ah, yes. Ye better be in the listening of the call can be most uncomfortable to the human being. For your confrontation, do ye wait for him to appear in visions, to flatter you with the presence of angels and trumpets, harps playing, and retinue of God beings. Ah, Chilas, you may wait very long, and you may find that waiting very hard, just as I had to be in the facing of my task in the lighted path. You must face the difficulties and expectations of evil attack upon thy path. Oh, yeah. This receiver, this messenger Dharma must face all possibilities. I effort at warning her, and you of the pitfalls of the path and the mission, for the way is cluttered with all that would stop thee. Do not be smug in your understanding of the mysteries, for there are many who have had the sacred mysteries, who have never experienced the resolvement of the lighted red road to Creator Source. If you do not neglect requirements of this service, and you will find that God presence will come forth from his place within and become without. You will also feel the encircling comfort of the brotherhood of the sacred, infinite circle, which is the Christos from total protection about thee. You might proclaim, I am not worthy, for I walk in such negative manner yesterday. Ah, so man walks the path constantly. Man needs the example of imperfection that he can relate to perfection. Do not suddenly sit on thy pedestal and proclaim achieved perfection. Seek rather to be perfected by the wondrous energy that comes from perfection. As you are perfected within, the light will radiate without. Known perfection as the graces of that great spirit, and seek them. Judge not how far thy brother has progressed. Look within at thy own degree of progress and move ever forward. Work thyself in the protection of the perfected and perfection that the evil brotherhood is kept without. Darkness cannot invade the presence in light unless thee allows it. But they're sneaky little fucking parasites. They're sneaky. They may appear as light beings, as good people, as humble and beautiful, but they tricky fucks. And they whittle their way in amongst the light, using their little twitchy assets. And they infiltrate. That's where I come in. And some others. I see you. Do you not see that if it were possible to be humanly perfect, there would be no need for divine protection? If it were possible to contain God on earth outside of thee, there would be no need to pursue heaven. When you have experienced the energy flow that comes with the healing salve of wondrous beauty, thee will want to remain inside the calm and harmonious wholeness. Look always within in truth and honesty, just as I, as Saul, was struck by the light and blinded upon the roadway. Have ye not perchance been stricken? Just as the master ensued Jesus stood in the presence and asked Saul, Saul, why persecutest thou me? Have ye not heard these words in thy soul, as ye have witnessed curses upon thy fellow man, abortions of thy babies, deliberate actions to avoid responsibilities of truth, as thee has taken the easy way, the human way? Oh yes, there is not one energy who will fall heir to these words that will not have experienced that small, weak cry within my mind. Come now, come and let us reason together. You, who are the intelligent, or so self-considered, you, who are the ones who know of the things of this life, let us consider the end of cycles and the shuffling off of the old. Let us remember how all that appears in manifested form must be recycled back into the central source. You could take it with you. Truth. It is not better to come into early understanding and communion with thy source before having to climb back up the ladder to a level whereby thee can do of thy appointed work during the time of transition. If thy alarm clock not ringing and ringing, there is a pattern, a blueprint, a building, if you will, whereby sequence is mandatory. Are you filling thy service station in timely manner, that the sequence is not interrupted? Are you aware enough to count the days and hours of opportunity upon you? You cannot ask of another, what is my level, or am I doing okay? Not even the higher brothers, for you know whether or not you are doing or thee can all thee has agreed to do. You know if thy job is being fully intended and not left undone for another to need, pick up and bear. You know if ye claim ye do not know better, go again within and see what you find. For if you question and excuse, you know that thee are not acting in wholeness, but rather wishes ones to assure that you are okay. No, brethren, thy job is solely between thee and the God within. It is much as in pregnancy with child. Ye are, or ye are not pregnant. Yes, we are doing thy job fully, or there are not gray areas and excuses. This is not to be condemning, only when confronted with the response need not be excuse but truth. God knows the difference even more. Even thy cosmic brothers know the difference. 'Tis only man who has closed his talents of understanding to limit of hiding one from another. And now we're coming together to work together. Just as I was given a new name by the master teacher Paul to replace Saul, it was to remove the old from my presence that I might experience in the new. The inner name given unto me at the time signified the great power of the mission of healing that was to be mine. Each one of you have a secret name, which is given unto you. Some of you will hear numerous labels within thy inner self. John S. has many names and great purposes. Never be in service as you confront thyself coming and going in thy daily life. Many of you within these tiny circle have taken great loads to burden thee among the path to harvest of this mission. Healing. Wholeness is a concept which is required as you pursue thy path, especially the path of healing. Healed means in wholeness, and you cannot have a whole in partialness. It requires skillful practice to master the art, just as the art must practice first with the brushes and clumsy strokes until perfection produces the beautiful reflection on the canvas. It's true. It is incorrect, beloved ones, to wait for some future nebulous time, when you think by some miracle that suddenly, with one sweep, you shall set forth and speak the word of healing. And at that moment, you will be transformed into the magnification of Christ. Healing comes as you apply yourself day by day to the invocation, the calling forth of healing right, the garnering of the right in your aura and in the chalice of your consciousness, and the application of that right as you are called upon in hour of crisis or need for another. Another incorrect concept that you are not in need of healing. You seem to be well and functioning, and therefore you perceive all as well. Precious ones, until the hour of wholeness, of cosmic integration, you are less than whole, and therefore you require healing. And every one of you, each hour of the day, can therefore practice the fiats of the Christ. Go back and study the words of the great teacher. Study his words. Use the fiats that he used to make men whole. First, he would usually remind them that their transgression were forgiven, that they might forgive themselves. They must forgive self, for all states of imperfection of self are wrought upon self in some means or manner as a result of self-punishment or preserved sins. You must realize that healing is first and most crucial an action of the mind, the subconscious mind, that harbors by instructions for actions performed by self and consciousness. It sounds if it is a great difficulty, nigh simple in truth. Why, brother, with the healing of the consciousness in human form, ye will just be changing dimensions into wholeness. Will thee not? Nigh, absolutely not. Can you function without a physical form in the octave? Of course not. Would you then be elsewhere? Perhaps, but your mission would be not fulfilled. Thus, a return once again, another descent of your soul energy into a physical form might be required should you pass off lightly the calling of your present position in the world arena. All the time. Now heed carefully. Having physical form partially dedicated to truth and partially involved in the world of the senses and relationships of controlling nature is not as the masters have intended that you should be. You have accepted a mission and cannot be sometimes. It has to be all times, or the work will not be finished in timely manner. I would wish that it would be otherwise. It is not otherwise. Pause. I just literally had a conversation with somebody about this on another person who has a soul mission here on this planet that is being derailed and sidetracked and infiltrated. And let me tell you, it's a bunch of us trying to get together to get this person back on track, because it is detrimental to all of us that this work gets uncovered. I see you, evil parasites. You don't fool me. I, Hilarion, place my own energies at thy disposal to help thee find and hold thy way in truth. Men and women who carry forth on this mission must be in the thinking once, then twice, and again of holy integration and bringing forth of the truth in perfect form. It is not that which goes into thy mouth that defileth man. You stumble around about that which you can eat and drink, but rather it is that which comes out from the mouth that defileth. Healing in thy force field means the actual healing everywhere upon this planetary body. For as you are, as the God within you, the authority for this earth, you will find that in geometric proportion by the infinite calculus of the spirit, one with God is a majority of the entire universe. You must see then that you are but a replica of the planetary body in the force field and in your own selfness. Therefore, just as the Christos had the power to change an entire course of history, so do thee. And so I, Hilarion, of the ray of the fifth refraction, come with the answer and the key. If it be healed and heeded and take, you will find that the power of truth, as it is released from the heart of the great central sun magnet, will draw all men unto me. For I am the I am of me, is the living Christ, circle of infinity, and I bear witness to him who showed me along the way of life that the only truth, the only way, the only love, and the only power is the victory of the momentum of God within the individual force field of mankind. Boom! So be it, and I place my seal upon these words that they may settle within thy heart place and focus on thee, that which is intended for thee. In total oneness of that which is, I take my leave. I am Hilarion. Hi, guys. Everything those two said. Holy shit. 1989. Holy shit. Holy shit. Holy shit. Many of us are getting these little snippets and pictures and feelings, knowings, understandings from upstairs. It's actualizing within you. It's coming within you. Coming within you. The understanding that you are a God within. But you got to actualize that. You need to understand it. You need to understand it. We're not perfect and we're not going to be perfect, but the goal, the aim is to be in perfection, to try to reach that perfection. It might not happen, but you got to try to reach it. You have to try to actualize it, walk in it. Now, unfortunately, in this world that we are moving in, there are things that they cannot escape, like food. There is no right or wrong diet, because doesn't matter, because it's all poisoned. There's pharmaceuticals, GMOs, chemicals all over the planet, and it's in particles that you can't see whizzing through the air constantly. Radio waves, radiation, all kinds of nonsense that hits the soil, the fertilizer, the water that you put your plants. Hey, plant, I'm going to talk to you and I'm going to give you love and light, but you're still watering it with water from the hose. Maybe you have a purified system, but even still, that's what's going into the plant. So nothing is technically actually organic. It's less chemicaled. And these are the Brotherhood of the Darkness that they're talking about that's been doing this for eons. They want you complacent. They want you to get into humanly things. And not to say that you shouldn't have the human experience. That's why you're here, to have an experience. But when you get the calling, there's no other objectives. When you know what your missions are, everybody's individualized. Everybody's different. But as a collective, there's a few people who are honing in on a mission that need to quest it out together. It's like playing World of Warcraft, and you need 4 people to take down this big ogre that's walking around the valley. You can't do it on your own. You might, but it'll take an hour or 2, and you got to be a hunter to dodge, keep dodging back or fading in and out. But you need more than one person for that quest. And many of us are being called for little mini quests right now, and we got to act together in those quests. Unity and consciousness is coming into play right now. The I am is great when you're first understanding and you're first in your awakening to understanding, especially on the more religious paradigm. And yes, we're actualizing the Christos, the Christed light, the Christ consciousness. But not everybody actualizes that name per se, because Christ to somebody else could be Buddha, as an example. It doesn't, names, yeah, they hold a frequency and they hold an octave, but it's within you. What do you feel? And it's all different for everybody. But what's going on in this world right now, and they're talking about it. This is why I love what I do, because they're validating everything that I had a conversation with somebody else and another person that doesn't know the other person, but they're both light workers. And this is like a spiraling of amazement for me, because this is validating everything I've been talking about. Yeah. I might not look it. I might not get the approval of people, but that's okay. I'm not for everybody. Those who see the light within me, no. Giving you, each and every one of you, most love and light. I hope each and every one of you have a really good weekend. Please be safe, be seen. The energies are really heavy. There's a pulling and a pushing right now, so you might be emotional, you might get really okay, but that's just stuff coming up that you need to purge. Just let it go, take those deep breaths, give it to a tree. I've been telling everybody right now, go outside and ground. And it's really cold in New York, and it's cold in a lot, it really is cold everywhere on the Midwest East Coast down areas. There's an Arctic breeze happening. But even in your daily passings of, going out and getting the mail, if you are by a tree, give it to the tree and ground, and know that you need to come back into neutrality, that you're being pushed and pulled for a reason. This is amazing. Until the next time, guys, I hope each and every one of you have an amazing weekend. Thank you for everybody who's been helping me out. It's a blessing, and again, a godsend, because you are my angels. And I thank you for doing God's work and taking care of one of your brothers and sisters. Please keep up doing those works if you can, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye, guys.